So one thing to point out and really illuminate is we're talking about melody and how to play and compose more melodically. Um, so the most obvious thing is to learn melodies. Some people don't necessarily make that correlation. Well, if I want to play more melodically, I really need to get inside the great melodies. You know, we've heard plenty of them, but then really applying it to the fretboard and kind of seeing how it works and kind of breaking it down. This is something that I, of course, would have known most of my life, but I didn't necessarily really apply it to the guitar till the last 10 years. I really started making a point of, I've always loved that song. Why don't I just at least learn it on the instrument so I can, A, have the joy of playing it, because there's such beauty in just the ability to be able to play some of these melodies that you love so much. But then what that does to our further awareness, you know, it's feeding the intellect and the intellect. You know, you can break it down theoretically of what's happening with that melody, but you can also kind of get it in your ear so when it comes time to create your own, you've got that to draw upon. One lovely example is just the intro to God Only Knows by Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys. It's very simple. That's the French horn line from the intro of God Only Knows, but it's... Man, that makes me feel something. Even now, I mean, it's just one of the most beautiful, simple melodies I've ever heard. And the simple act of that very vocal swoop of the French horn and how it resolves into that chord, right? Now that's a clever melodic leap. There's a song I've done an arrangement for recently called "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" by Elton John, and this was interesting to learn because it was a melody that really. I remember buying the record in 1973 or 74 when it came out. My family had just gotten a radio. I was 10 years old, and this is one of the first songs I heard on the radio, and it just made me really well up. It's like, why is this so haunting, right? And then when I finally learned the melody recently, it's basically all chord tone. It's just kind of going up the arpeggio of each chord. So straight up to G minor, to C, to F, B flat, E flat. So sometimes they don't have to be necessarily really clever melodically. It could just be kind of just sticking to chord tones. But the way it's delivered sometimes, you know, it was such a haunting, beautiful vocal from Elton. And then when it gets to the chorus with a... You know, some just beautiful, but very simple, right? So... It makes such a deep impact on your playing when you can just even attempt on your own, right? That's the important part of this. Sure, there's going to be transcriptions. There's going to be somebody showing you on screen like we're doing here, and it's a very valid way of learning. But I want to really encourage you to just in your own time away from computer screen, away from any screen, and just think about melodies that you love and see if you can find them on the guitar. Obviously, then also referencing the recording and seeing if you can replicate, even if it's just a small bit of it. It doesn't have to be. Don't feel like you have to learn side 2 from Abbey Road right now. You know, it's not about that. It's just the actual experience of hearing a little phrase and then being able to replicate it. And we're going to do some work on this in this course today. So I'm excited to share my ideas about how to improve on that. So anyway, learning melodies. It's such a key to all this.